Hey everybody. So there has been a huge theme these last couple of days about communication and preparedness, and ultimately it comes down to, asking for help or asking for what you want. So from my perspective, being a manager, leader, CEO, I'm learning that a lot of people don't come to you because they fear that they should know it all, or that you should know it all, that you should be able to read their minds. We can read books, we can read magazines, we can't read minds. And, a lot of people's life doesn't go the way that they want it because they don't know how to ask for help, or ask for that job, or say, hey, how do I get that job? I really want that job. Can I get that job? How do I get that job? So it's pretty simple. You put your ego aside, you put all your fears aside, or you don't even put your fears aside. You do it despite the way that you feel, despite the way that the fear makes you feel. You just do it, because if not, your life isn't going to change. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Well, I don't think I can, but I'll show y'all. I'm looking at Thomas Plummer. He's one of my favorite fitness business kind of gurus. He's been in the business for a long time. And it's funny because he posted something yesterday, and I'm going to read it to y'all. He says, ego kills your life and your business. And I think ego comes in all forms and shapes, but I've been really working on the whole self-awareness thing, and that helps with not thinking that you know everything, because we don't, and we need to ask for help, and we need to ask for things that will help our lives be better, because if we do that, it just makes life easier. Oh my gosh, it just makes life easier if you ask for help, or if you ask for that job and you work for that job, or, ask for somebody's on a date, ask for somebody on a date, or ask if they can help you with something, anything and everything. Anything that you can think of. It doesn't even have to be about your job, but Thomas talks a lot about the fitness business and, how ego can kill your life and your business. And he talks specifically about males. I've only had the experience of working with a handful of males, and I have a boyfriend. And so, I'm learning more about the male side of things now because of where and how I work with them, and teach and learn from them as well. So he says, males seldom seek help because their egos won't let them ever ask the one person who could help them. If I ask, he says, then I am admitting I need help, and I'm just too manly to ever let someone help me. I would rather lose my business or stay stuck forever in a lesser life, because no self-respecting, ego-driven male would ever ask another male for help and admit he doesn't know it all and can't figure it out. I will pause and say this. I think it also happens when you have a female leader, a female boss, and a male that's perhaps a little bit less experienced in a little less experienced role, and is working towards getting your position, basically, because I think that's how we should all work, is that people should want my job. So I think that also happens in that respect as well. And he goes on to say, it does make sense, right? Aren't males supposed to know absolutely everything about everything and never need to ask anyone anything? Why don't we put everything we ever had into a business we don't understand and then continually deny we need help? Isn't it better to lose everything than to have another male who might know more about that particular subject and could help you than ever seen as being weak and asking for a little help? Also, isn't it better to struggle in life than to ask for guidance from someone who might have the experience to shorten your pain or set you on the right path? Much better to be an alpha male and suffer in silence, not having a flippin' clue as to what to do next, than ever being seen as one of those guys who needs an outside perspective that might change your life. Or girls. Girls can do it too. It doesn't matter where you are on the path in life personally or in business. There's always someone further down that path who has had a butt kicking. I'm going to be and say one of those. I am one of those. I've had my butt handed to me, and y'all have seen me post about it. And might have the experience to help you get moving a little faster. If your life isn't working the way you want and you can't figure it out, then ask and get on with it. And this is something that management struggles with a lot, with people that have just come into the business or less experienced, is that, you know, like I said before, we can't read minds. And so, you know, talking up to your management and asking them for help will help tremendously. If your business isn't turning out to be what you'd hoped, why do you think asking for help is a sign of weakness? Or is it being smart enough to ask a friend for some guidance? One of the strongest things you could ever do. That's a phenomenal question. You know, I believe it's one of the strongest things you could ever do, because that shows self-awareness. That shows that you're thinking, you're thinking with your heart, not with your head. You know, because our egos can do some interesting things to us. He goes on to say, if your life isn't working, park the ego in the garage along with this week's selfie fest and get on with it. Ego doesn't pay the bills. No, because sometimes it can get in the way and screw you out of money. It doesn't fix your business or change your life. Ego might be the biggest thing in your life that is draining it. Just ask for help, people. Just ask. And that just, it kind of sums up a few of my thoughts that I've had this whole week. You know, if you're frustrated at a job, if you haven't talked to your management, so I have a few examples. Same thing with personal training. So I have had a couple of people come in and they want to train with me or with one of my trainers, and they say, you know, I'm really frustrated with my trainer. I don't understand. I'm not getting the results that I want. I straight up ask them, I'm like, hey, have you asked them? Have you talked to them about your frustrations? Because if you haven't talked to them, I need you to go and talk to your people. Like, I need you to talk to your trainer, because I don't want to have that responsibility on me. And it's just the way that I do business, that if you haven't talked to your trainer or haven't talked to that person, then you need to go talk to them and say, hey, instead of just walking away, because then they'll never learn. And they may never learn anyways, but at least you can have that conversation, that open communication with them and say, hey, I'm not happy. But a lot of people don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation, so they leave. They just leave. They just like, I don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation. But being passive and walking away from having that conversation is going to keep you stuck. It is going to keep you stuck, and that goes back to just throwing the fear out the window and taking a chance. Go and talk to someone. In management, you know, if you're looking for that next step up in that job, then go ask for it. Or if they hired somebody that may have a little more experience or whatever, they hired outside, and instead of hiring internally and you didn't get that position, one, did you tell your boss you wanted that position? Number two, if you did, go ask why they didn't hire you. Maybe you're not doing everything that you could be doing, or that they're expecting of you, or there's a lack of communication there, or whatever. You know, so you can talk to your peers about it and stuff, but it's going to take you going to whoever that person might be and saying, hey, what's up? Like, I want to talk about this. I want to move up in this world. So, you know, this is all to say, like, that ego has a lot to do with it, but I also think it's not just ego, it's about self-awareness. Ego stops us from having self-awareness because it sucks. Like, you have to sit there and go, ooh, what am I bad at, you know? And if I'm bad at that, well, can I hire somebody to do it, or do I have to do it? Will it get me to where I want to be? Because if you want to be a business owner, if you want to be good at something, you're going to have to work at it. Like, you're going to have to work at it. You're going to have to ask those hard questions. You're going to have to push yourself in those harder situations. And a lot of people, unfortunately, they want all of this stuff, but they're just not willing to ask for it, and then not willing to work for it, because it can be difficult. It's going to be difficult. That's why not a lot of people do it. So, you know, and I still have my moments of going, oh my God, why am I doing this? You know, but at the end of the day, on the macro scale, I am happy about what we're doing here and about the business and what we stand for. So on the micro level, I may have a bad Tuesday. Yesterday was a crazy day, which was Monday. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm so excited and so happy about this. And that's where, you know, this is all to say that go talk, you know, go talk to people. If you need help, go ask. If you're not sure, go ask, communicate, throw the fear out the window, or hold on to it for dear life, but just do it anyways. So yeah, Thomas Plummer's great. Follow him. He's at Thomas Plummer, Fit Biz Guru. He's awesome, has a great advice. I always get a kick out of his posts because they're spot on. And he's not afraid to say what he means to say. So I hope this helps people, and I have some more videos coming, but keep it up, guys, and, you know, self-awareness. You know, learn about yourself, be honest with yourself, and be honest with the people around you, and ask for help.